Hello Guardian, I hope this video finds you well. Timestamps in the description. I will give you a quick summary and then break down each subject. How to spawn resonance, how to close a conduit, encounter breakdown 1 through 5, red borders additional tips. Let's get it. There are two main mechanics that will going to be present in encounters 1, 2 and 3, which are spawning resonance and closing a conduit. So these two things are called plates. You will use them with two players to spawn resonance, which will be some little yellow objects like that thing, and this pillar over here is called a conduit. Okay, so I'm gonna first explain how to spawn these things called resonance, which are essentially buffs. So one player will step on the sending plate, which is the one that is glowing, and doesn't matter if you stay there, if you just touch or whatever. Basically the charge will leave the plate, follow the line or cable, and go into the other plate. Then when it reaches the other plate, another player will step on it to send it back. So an in-game example with callouts would be sent, 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 sent. Now I'm gonna let it fade and fail. If no one steps, it just dissipates. Okay. Usually if you fail it or stop doing the bounce or the ping pong, so to say, if you stop, an enemy called Subjugator will spawn, like a mini boss, really strong guy, and while he's alive usually you cannot do the plates and you also can't close the conduit. So you have to kill that enemy and then you can do things again. Usually in all encounters you will ping 2 times, which means send, return, send, return. That's it, no more. You usually just do that, fail, kill the subjugator, pick the buffs, add clear, do whatever you had to do. Then when the closing person is ready, you usually have a sender and a closer. When the closing person is ready, he will call, I'm ready to close, send it. The other person will send and the closer will close. I'll teach you how to close in a second, but just to recap, if you are fast enough, you can just never let the plate fade, just keep sending multiple times over and over, while grabbing the buffs along the way, touching the plate, add clearing, doing everything, and then you just close and do it in one go. But usually the most common strategy for encounters 1, 2 and 3 is just send, return, send, return. Let it fail, kill subjugator, do everything, collect things, and then send, close. Now how to close? When you want to close a plate, you simply shoot this thing in the middle of the conduit, and when the other person sends it, you step on it like if you would send back as normal, but this time since you shot it with the correct buff, it just does not send back and closes the conduit. Now most likely you'll see something like this, which means you cannot see the correct symbol, but someone else with a buff will see one of these 3 figures here. They will see, for example, that triangle over here, meaning it's the triangle. So someone will read for you and then you close, applying the correct buff. More on that on the actual encounters. But one additional information is that you can hold up to 3 buffs, and then if you pick a 4th one, you die. Each time you pick, you also extend your timer. You will also have a timer. If the timer goes to 0 before you get rid of the buffs, somehow you die. Now on this one, I know that the cobalt is circle. Let's just pretend that someone gave me the cobalt, because this is a secret room for a red border and whatnot, but doesn't matter. Now one thing you should notice is that when you pick buffs, this is a square, by the way, this one is a circle, and this one is a triangle. Now one thing you should know is that when you pick buffs, you gain the name of the buff according to the figure you collected. You can just remember what you have picked up, or you can read the name. Regardless, you can close the conduit with 1, 2 or 3, doesn't matter how many you have, but what matters is that the last one you pick is the correct cobalt. So in this case the cobalt is circle. So I either just pick a circle, or I can have 2 of whatever, 2 of the same, 2 different ones, or 3 all different, 3 of the same, 2 plus 1, nothing matters. The only thing that matters is that the last one I pick is a circle. In this case I pick the triangle, so the name is pyramidal resonance. I'll pick the circle now. I am times 3, so I can't pick any more or I die. But also, since the last one I picked up is a circle, doesn't matter anything else, I can now close the conduit. So to close, I'll just say I'm ready to close. Ready to close. Sent. The other person sent me, and now I just step on it. You get the sound cue and the prompt on the left of your screen. Hey guys, our side is closed. That's it. A couple extra tips. When the energy is coming, you need to take care to not step in too early. Let the energy actually touch the plate, or you will fail it and not send it back. Then you need to ask for the sender to send it again, and you lose some time. Usually it's not a big deal, but sometimes it can be a big deal. Another thing is that if you also step on too late, after the energy comes in the square, it will start filling up. It will fill up, go up, and then it kind of blasts and fades away. Then even if you step, it doesn't count. So can't be too early, can't be too late. You have a time window in between where you need to step. But from personal experience and teaching many guardians, I know that it is way easier to fail by being too fast than it is by fail for being too late. So don't be afraid, just wait a bit, let it actually come, then while it's filling and coming up, you step on it. Okay, don't be afraid, you will rather fail by being too fast than too slow, guaranteed. Also, don't jump, because you are essentially delaying your time and getting there later. You just walk, run, slide, do whatever, but don't jump. Can even do a sword. So, first encounter, Substratum. This encounter, you pick this resonance, dunk at the box, and the encounter starts. On this encounter, there's gonna be a main room and 8 rooms around it. So the doors will randomly open, always 2 at a time, all the others will be closed. Some supplicants will come out, the explosive harpies. You go inside, kill some stuff, come back to middle, and you do the mechanics. Now, how does this actually work? You will have 2 teams of 3, team sides and team corners, because the 2 open doors will always be one side and a corner. This will save you a lot of time and will avoid people bumping into each other or going to crazy situations like 1 and 5 or whatever. So you have 3 people on team sides, 3 people on team corners. Nice and easy, you always know what to do. Essentially, people go into their room, add clear, then another room inside will open, and then another one. You go into like a 3-room death. And as you're going, you're kinda doing a circle until eventually another door opens, bringing you back to the main room, to the middle. And while you are at clearing, there's gonna be 3 main enemies that are a key mechanic. Minotaurs, Hydras, and Overload Minotaurs. So these heads should be top priority to kill, as they will interact with the other team to open their doors or spawn their enemies. If both teams are fast enough, they are quitting and they are triggering each other mechanics. Both teams go until they get their own third room, then both will open up back to the middle and the Tormentor will spawn. You kill the Tormentor. Then rinse repeat, each team goes to their side, check wherever the new doors are, keep killing, kill the special enemies to trigger thanks for the other team, go until a third room death, then come back to the middle for another Tormentor. After second Tormentor, each team goes to their side, there will be an active plate and an active conduit. So you have one player that will be a sender, another player that will be a closer. The third player will just come into the main room and collect resonance. So the others will collect resonance on the rooms where they are. The third player will collect it on the middle, in the corners and the like. After both conduits are closed, everyone gathers middle. As soon as all 6 players are in middle, a new wave of heads will spawn in this main room with the subjugator. You kill the subjugator and this box will appear again. Everyone dunks the resonance, that's it, that's one phase done. You do 3 phases of this, you beat the encounter. Now, doesn't matter how many resonance stacks you bank, the only thing they do is give you more time, 20 seconds each. Now, just a quick recap. 2 teams of 3, team sides and team corners. They will go to their rooms, going to 1, 2, 3 rooms, keep swaying out, come fast to the main room because a new thing will open, kill Tormentor, go again to their new rooms, sway out, come back to middle, kill a second Tormentor, then spread, do the resonance spawn, like send, return, send, return. After 2 pings you can just stop, let it fade, pick up resonance, kill the subjugator, get the cobalt to close the conduit. If both conduits are closed, everyone gathers middle, kill heads, kill subjugator. That's it, phase is done. 3 phases, encounter is done. On this encounter, you will split the team into 3 teams of 2. 2 people left, 2 people middle, and 2 people right. You will kill some heads, 1 player, each player at his own side. Then one of the 2 players will get a really big wave with the mini boss. They stack together on whatever side and kill it. Then they send, return, send, return. Just 2 times, it's done. Let it fade, kill the mini boss. Then there will also be some knights spawning in middle, 1 per side, kill them. Call to Reckoning comes middle, shoot the head, everyone shoots the blights, shoot the head again, get stolen favor, come back. As a visual clarification, on second encounter, when you get Call to Reckoning and you can go to middle, so again, you add clear a bit, you do 2 bounces, send, return, let it fight, kill the mini boss. Then the Call to Reckoning person will go to middle if you have this buff, Call to Reckoning. Set players will shoot the head of the boss. After they crit enough, boss will go up this symbol, which means that blights are up. People kill the 3 blights, they will be somewhere around the map. If all blights are dead, boss loses the symbol above his head, and you can shoot his head again. At this point, you will get the buff called Stolen Favor, so your Call to Reckoning will get swapped to Stolen Favor. At this point, you are able to read the correct callout on the conduit. So you go back to your side, read the callout, then I would still advise to have a fix closer and sender, and whoever goes to middle comes back, gives the call out and goes to the respective place. Back to your place, read the obelisk, help a bit killing heads and survival, then go to your plate if you are sender or closer and pick some resonance along the way. When closing player is good and ready, you will tell send, I'm ready to close. You will send and say sent. The other player will close. After all 3 sides close, the box will appear here. You will throw healing nades, barricades, whatever. All players will dunk and it's DPS. You go to town on boss. You have a maximum of 3 phases and you also have less stand. Swords is the most used technique on this boss, but you could very well just kite around and DPS with GLs and snipers and rockets and do RDM rotations or whatever. Another thing, on this encounter it's even more important, the mechanic where you ping 2 times, where it fight, kill the mini boss, and then later on you send and close. You are essentially trading like 60 heads on each of the 3 sides, about 100 to 200 heads in trade for 1 mini boss on each side. 3 of them. And everything is clean and easy. You are pinging AFK without any heads bothering you. Everything is nice and easy. Third encounter. So you will have 3 rooms. This is room 1, this is room number 2, this is room number 3. In all rooms you will have 3 pairs of plates, and this is why you will have 3 teams of 2. Each team will have a sender and a closer. So everyone will start up in the end of the room, because there will be a tormentor spawning, left, middle, right for the first room. You will kill the tormentors as a team real quick, and people getting the last hit on the tormentor, senders should try to avoid it. People getting the last hit will be able to read the conduits. They will read the call out, and then after they read the call out, left to right, everyone will start ping ponging. So you send, return, just 2 times, let it fade. Subjugator will spawn. The senders will move and help kill the subjugator, then they move back to their spot. In the meantime, a lot of Scorpios and Cabal Towers will spawn on platforms and balconies. Take care, everyone should do quick work on those, because they are dangerous. Then, each player of the closers will pick whatever symbol they have close to them, and then move to the place where that cobalt is to close. So the senders will always remain the same, and they know that they are A, B and C. The closers will pick whatever symbol is close to them, move to the correct place and close it. Okay? So let's say I'm picking square on the left and the square cobalt is on the right. I'll just pick, I'll move to right, then I'll say I'm ready to close, ask C to send it, and I'll close it. On the other rooms it's always the same thing, but the plates change. An additional thing is that after you close all 3 conduits, you will have the box, usually in the middle of the room, everyone will bank, and then once all 6 people go to the end, to the door that will be closed, there's gonna spawn a wave of heads with an unstoppable champion. You kill the unstoppable and the heads, the door will open, you go to the next room. On the 3rd room you just beat the encounter. Now, really important thing, let's say you are on the 3rd room already, right? I am the person starting on the left, you always start in the same layout as you start the 1st room. Let's say I'm the person on the left, I'm picking for example square, which would be spawning close to me or whatever. And let's say the square callout is on the middle. So I will pick the symbol, I will run to middle, and when I'm ready to close, I will just say A send, person A will send it, and I will close it. So again, the 3 senders will always have the same position and they wait to get called. The closers will move according to the callout, so they pick whatever they have, move to the correct place to close, and they will read and call the correct sender they need and ask them to send it. Simple and easy. So to sum up and with a better visual representation, Everyone will move up, kill the tormentors, left, middle, right. Get the buff. Someone will quickly read all the 3 conduits. It should be around in these areas. Let's say the cobalt would be, for example, triangle, circle, square, triangle, circle, square. It's always left to right. The senders will go back immediately, start ping-ponging. Once the closers say they are all ready, in this case you can call all 3 ready, then they send. You send, return, send, return. Then let it fade, the subjugator will spawn, at the same time senders will come up and help with it, kill the subjugator, kill the towers. There will be these Cabal Scorpio towers on these platforms. They are really dangerous, you should priority kill them fast in all those platforms. They will go down again, the senders. At that point everyone will be picking stuff. Once the closers say that they are good with picking stuff, then the senders will also pick the remainings, and then the closers will move to the correct spot. So in this case I'm picking square here. Depending on the room the symbols spawn on whatever side, but let's say I'm picking square here. I will quickly move to the right after killing my subjugator, and while all that is happening, once I'm here on the right side, I'll say I'm ready to close, and I'll say C send. It will send. I will close it. That's it. Some people like to send all the same time, all at the same time, so that they don't need to know which place sends where. But I don't like that, because that requires 6 people at second coordination at the exact moment, and someone could die, get delayed, get pushed. Things can happen, and it involves a bunch of cobalts. I would rather have mixed cobalts on top of each other and be like C send to close, A send to close, and just keep going, because this way the senders are always on their respective position, the closers are doing all the different readings and asking for what they need. And if I'm here and I say C send to close, he sends, I close it, I will say that my side is closed, and both of us are free to move and help the others. Because remember, you don't have to close all at the same time, you just have to close all 3 within time. So now we have 2 extra people at clearing, and the others have a way easier time focusing their objective and closing. 4th encounter, Verity. This encounter is actually pretty simple compared to what most people think. Essentially, team will get split into 4 teams. 3 people will remain outside together in this area. The other 3 will go inside on 3 separate solo instances. The team of the 3 inside will do 1 fang. The team of the 3 outside will do another fang. In the middle of that process, there's a moment, usually happens after 6 trades inside or after outside is done. But anyway, there's a moment where the inside people have a fake death, and the outside people can pick up their ghosts, come back, dunk them into these statues to revive them. Then both teams finish their processes, everyone comes spawn, 2 unstoppables will spawn, 1 on each side, kill them, then position in this spawn area, spread out to not be super close to each other, because then 5 people will have the fake death, 1 person will remain alive. It's good that you spread out like this, to not be closing the statues or the other players. So this way, people picking the ghosts can know that they are actually picking the ghosts they want, instead of picking another random one and not knowing what they have. You free all the guardians until you free all 6, and then that's 1 phase done. That's it. Do it 3 phases, you beat the encounter. Now, what are the teams actually doing in and outside? You see this wall? It will like rotate the shapes you have, so to say, like if you have them in your pocket. Let's speak about the inside team first. you will see 3 statues, left, middle, right. Okay. You will essentially call what they have. Let's suppose an example, triangle, circle, square. Okay. So this statue would have a triangle, this one a circle, that one a square. You will give this call to the outside team, they will need it. Regardless, for the inside team, you will do a no constraint, really safe and simple. So doesn't matter whatever symbols you have. If you have 2 of the same that you are holding, in this example I'm on the left and that would be a triangle. If you have 2 triangles there, you do nothing, you're good. If you don't, you will never pick your own symbol, you will pick the others you don't have on the statue and dunk them on the respective statues. So in this case, the wall is showing a triangle and a circle. Well, it would only show 2, so let's pretend it would be a triangle and a circle. I will not pick triangle, as that's my own. I will pick circle and give it to circle player, which should be middle. So just give the same to the same. There will be a point where your statue is triangle and you have 2 triangles on the wall. When you have 2 of the same, you're good. Everyone say they are good. Left is good, right is good, mid is good. If all 3 are good, you now will kill the knights. By the way, there are some knights which drop the symbols. If you don't see any knight, it means you need to add clear until an ogre spawns, kill the ogre, and the ogre will trigger the 2 knights to spawn. Kill the knights, they drop the motes. Regardless, you will pick up the motes from the knights and bank on the statues. Okay, so once all 3 players are good with 2 things on the wall that are the same as the statue is holding, you will give 1 to each statue. So I would give 1 triangle mid, 1 triangle right. Then wait. If all 3 players are good and no swaps are needed, if everything is right, so I would say don't do anything else until all 3 are good, just to make sure. When all 3 are good, you will have the 2 different symbols on the wall that are different than the one you are holding. So if I'm a triangle, I would have a circle and a square. I'll kill the 2 knights and pick both symbols. This time I'll pick 2 symbols and I'll not give anything to anyone, because the symbols will kind of combine each other in my pocket, so to say. So outside people will make like a locket, and inside people are kind of getting the key to get out. In this case, each pair of the 3 symbols creates like a different combined shape, a cylinder, cone or prism. So it doesn't matter which one is first or second, you just need to know that triangle plus circle or this plus that and whatever. All the 3 possible pairs of 2 different symbols will make one of the 3 forms, cone, cylinder, prism. So if we have a triangle, circle, square, each person needs the opposite 2 to create whatever form. We need all 3 forms, 1 on each in the correct order. Once all the 3 players are good and pick both symbols, so I'm triangle, again I'm picking circle and square from the ground. Once all 3 players are good, you wait for the outside team to be done with whatever they are doing, the dissection process. If it's done, you'll see like a wall shattering, you just cross it, boom, you're done. In the meantime, before all that happens, there will be the ghost mechanic. At the end you come here and stop ghosts. So as a quick recap, you will make things in a way where you'll give everyone the same thing they have until everyone has 2 of the same. Everyone calls they are good, then you give 1 to each other player. You will essentially have the 2 different symbols on the wall that are both different than the one on your statue. Everyone calls they are good, you will kill the knights and pick both symbols, not give anything to anyone. Wait for ghost mechanic to happen, call out ghosts and whatever, revive. Wait for outside team to say they are good with dissection. Then you will see the thing, you are able to come out, everything comes on spawn, kill unstoppables, spread out, do ghosts, that is done. Now for the outside team, what is actually happening? So you'll see some crazy shapes on the hand of the guardians. There are 6 possible shapes in each of the 3 statues. So essentially what's happening here is you can see any of the 3 pure symbols. You can see like a cube, a pyramid, or a sphere, which just means the statue has double symbol of the same. Or if you see one of the 3 special forms like cone, cylinder, prism, it means it has a pair of 2 different symbols. These are the 3 possible pairs: circle, triangle, square, circle, square, triangle. So outside team will get the inside callout of whatever symbol there is left to right, and on the outside team only one person will do the mechanic, the other 2 will just add clear. I'll go there in a second, but that person will get the inside callout and will also get his own callout of the shapes they see. You can translate the shapes you see, so you can like make a conversion or a translation. So this symbol means it's actually these 2. Okay, this and that and that. You essentially translate it to 6 letters. So you get the inside callout, triangle, square, circle. For example, you get your own outside callout of the 6 letters you have by translating the symbols to what they actually are. And then you know what you want. What you want is always, for each thing, the 2 opposites, to make kinda all 3 on each. So now that you know what you have and what you want, according to this reading and that one, you now can just do the correct swaps until it's all good. Now, before I even delve into this, how do you actually swap, or how to do the process called dissection? Dissect is like to take, okay? So you essentially pick a mode, then speak with the statue. Then pick a mode, then speak with the statue again. In this example, don't care about letters now. So I'm dissecting triangle from left and square from middle. What is actually happening? So I pick a triangle, which means the next statue I speak with, I'm taking the triangle out of it. Then I speak with left, which means I'm taking the triangle out of left statue. It doesn't immediately take, it's always a 2-step process. It only takes when I speak with the second statue. So then I will pick up a square, and then I will speak with middle statue, implying that I want to take the square out of middle. After you speak with 2 statues, it will automatically and immediately swap. So it will swap the triangle from left to middle and the square from middle to left. This is what actually is happening behind the scenes. And this is also why only one person should do all the mechanic. Because if 2 people pick things, let's say one person does the triangle left, the other does the square middle, they will not trade. The 2 players will be doing separate dissections with the symbol on their pocket, and they both need to speak with another statue to finish both. So that will be a mess, maybe even impossible. So only one person does it. They do mode statue, mode statue. That is one swap, and the statues will trade with each other. Now, really neat thing, there is a calculator. If you want to see the full explanation in depth, you can see my guide linked in the description just on the 4th encounter. But essentially what you are doing is you are getting the inside callout, for example triangle, circle, square. You are getting your own outside callout, like you see a cone, a cylinder, a prism. Then you are converting this stuff into letters. So this is TCS, and all of these represent 6 letters. Each thing is a mix of 2 letters, like you saw in the previous materials I've showed, made by myself. And then when you get the 6 letters, you do the calculations. But you are converting or translating, then calculating, and then doing the mechanic. In my first few attempts and clears, I was just getting AFK in a corner while doing this on pen and paper on my head. and then I would tab into the game and do the thanks. But special thanks to Necrondo. This guy made this perfect, beautiful calculator. So you just input all the callouts here and it tells you what to do. Pick triangle, speak with left. Pick circle, speak with middle. That's one swap, that's done. Now pick circle, speak with left. Pick square, speak with right. Boom, that's done. You will get these symbols, these combinations outside, which are according to the original triangle, square, circle, each of them having the two opposite outside, making whatever shape, whatever this means, cylinder, prism, cone. So yeah, you are essentially skipping the translation process and the calculation process. You go directly from callouts to action. So you skip steps 2 and 3, go from 1 to 4. So as an example, just click reset. You are just sharing, giving ads, and they put this in chat. Circle, square, triangle. You look, okay, that's good. You alt tab, put this here, and then you just, what do I see outside? I see a cylinder, another cylinder, and a pyramid. Okay. Pick circle, speak left, pick triangle, speak right. One swap is done. Now second swap, pick square, speak middle, pick triangle, speak right. You do all of this, then you just say, dissection is done. You shut up, let them do their own callouts, they will interact with each other and come out. That's it. You do 3 phases, encounter is done, solved. Like, you can very well do this without the calculator, but it's just so much easier and so much more chill. It's a vibe to do this, like, really. By the way, in some rare situations, you just have one swap. In some other rare situations, you will actually have 3 full swaps, but most likely, and the majority of the time, it's always this. It's 2 swaps. So mode statue, and then mode statue. This is the most common thing. It's 2 full swaps. That's it. Also, try to have distinguishable features on your head and ghost so that people, because you never see yourself, but you see 1 or 2 other guardians. These things are numbered 1 through 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You have a visual reference. 4, 5, 6. So again, in a real life example, hey, I have a bunny shell. That's me, Emerald Shark. That is 1, Emerald is 1. Okay, the dunk. That's it. Another thing you can do is take an extra minute. Everyone gets a pen and paper and write things down. Like bunny, hammer, car, Anubis, trials. You do this for all 6, ghosted. And then when people do the call out, they do the call out and the other people will decipher where it is. Or you even translate and then just say hammer, and they'll say hammer 1, Anubis 3, and you keep going. Yeah, you get the point. There's many ways to do this, but yeah. 5th encounter, the witness. On this encounter, this is a boss, 3 phases, then a last stand. On this encounter, you will do a mechanic to break some hands. Each time you break a hand, you gain a buff called Glyph Breaker. Once you have the Glyph Breaker buff, you are allowed to break a glyph, which are those 6 coins on Witness's body. After you break all 6, it's DPS. You go to that place in middle and you DPS. 3 phases, final stand, that's it. That's the encounter. Now, there's a thing. When you get the buff, you can actually break the glyph, that coin, from anywhere in the map. But there's a catch here. Sometimes people will gain some buffs, and those buffs will have a timer. If the timer goes out, they die. Or if they gain a 4th stack, they also die. You can also have a maximum of 3 stacks like in all the other encounters. So to prevent this from happening, you can actually cleanse the other players. And what you have to do is really simple. You just go to that pool in the middle and break the glyph from there. That's it. You don't have to do nothing. It's just instead of breaking it from here, you go to that white pool and break it from there. So as an example, someone would say, hey, I need cleanse. Then no one says nothing. The next time a runner gets the buff and is able to break the glyph, he will just not shoot it. He will say, hey, I'm gonna break one, come to middle. Runner goes middle, the person that needs cleanse also goes there, or everyone goes there, whatever. Once you are there, you shoot the glyph, break it, and everyone there will get cleansed. That's it, nice and easy, really simple. About the hands mechanic, I will show you a live example of how to break the hand after this image, but for now, let me break down step by step what you do. Don't get overwhelmed, this will look way simple as soon as you understand it. So first things first, there are 3 hands. The sky hand, which comes from sky, the side hand, which comes like from the side, like if it's a wall, and the floor hand, which comes from the floor. Each one has a corresponding attack. The floor does a circle, the side does a square, and the sky does a triangle. Now, you have a 3-step mechanic to break the hand. So you position your body inside the corresponding attack. Let's use the sky hand and triangle as an example. So you aim to the hand at this bracelet. All of them have a bracelet. You can see it. So you aim to this bracelet and you position yourself inside the triangle and shoot the hand. When you shoot it, it will glow in a certain color and also show some symbols on the bracelet. Doesn't matter, you step out of the triangle. So you step in the triangle to shoot the hand and read the color, then you go get the buff, then you go back to the triangle, shoot the hand again and break it. Okay? Now, how do you get the buff? Let's say it would glow red, for example. Each buff has a corresponding color, green for triangle, red for square, and yellow for circle. So if it would glow red, you would just come to the square buff, position yourself inside the buff, stay there for about 1.5 or 2 seconds, and you will acquire the buff. Also, you don't need to get hit by the attacks, you just need to step in there. What does that even mean? So, the attacks will be glowing without damaging, and sometimes they periodically will damage and stop damage. And then they will fade and they will attack again, maybe in a different position, whatever. But you can step with or without taking damage, and as long as you step for the correct amount of time, you gain the buff. So, going back to the example, you step in triangle, shoot the hand you read. If you read, for example, red, now you step in the square, you just stay there a bit to acquire the buff, leave it. Now you go back to the triangle, step on the triangle and shoot the hand again. This time it will break and give you the buff called Glyph Breaker, which will in turn allow you to break the witness glyph, like those coins in the chest. So it's very easy. Step on the buff, shoot to read, go acquire the buff you need, come back to the original fang, step on the fang, shoot the hand, and this time it will break. Some people also like to do casino strat, where they get whatever buff, let's say they get square buff, and then they go to the other symbols and shoot to the other ends and try to break them. If they are lucky, they break. If they are not, they don't, and they just keep trying. You usually will have again 2 or 3 runners doing it legit or casino, it's whatever. Also, the name of the buff does not matter, but in case you forgot what you have or you didn't notice and you acquired another buff by mistake, or people ask if someone has whatever buff to break their hand because they already read and they can't break it, usually you should also paste stuff in chat like this: green triangle sky, red square side, yellow circle floor. People know this by memory, but for people like me, it's highly useful to just tap and see it, or disable the how to hide feature and always have chat available with this good information. Because instead of having like two separate graphics, you have one with everything. So you know that if you are breaking sky hand, you are on triangle to read and to break, right? But then whatever color it shows, you have the color first, because then you have the other color, which is green is triangle, red is square, yellow is circle. So whatever color you need, you go to the respective thing, chill there a bit, you got the buff, then go back to your original place and break it, because usually you have runners like each break their own hand, or you can do it chaotic randomly. Also, another important thing you should know is that sometimes the witness will test you. So each time you break a hand, you should call out what you broke. So if I'm breaking sky hand, I break it, and the moment I break, I will say triangle, triangle. Then someone breaks square, circle. I break another, triangle. Then if the witness tests you, the last hand that has been broken is the correct call out to survive the test. The test, it's basically a thing where witness will summon a bunch of cruxes. You have to kill some and leave others alive to make the shape of whatever was the last hand you broke. It's like a memory game, just to know if you are aware of the last one you broke. If you fail to do it, you wipe. If you do it with success, then you wait a couple seconds, witness will do a floor ground attack, everyone will jump to avoid it, and then you keep going. Call out was yellow, which means I need a circle buff. I just got it. You see, I just broke the hand. Now I have glyph breaker, I can just break the glyph. Or if someone needs a quench, I can go into middle. Yep, that's done. One glyph is broke, 5 more missing. About that testing mechanic when the witness tests you. Basically, the witness always spawns 14 cruxes, always in the same exact position. You will always break 6. Doesn't matter what the cobalt is, you will always break 6. And you will leave exactly 8 alive. So if the cobalt is circle, it's kind of a bit of a diamond, but it's a circle, whatever. So you break all 4 corners and these 2 in the middle, that's it. If the cobalt is square, you break these 6, these 2 and these 4 kind of in the middle with the others. If the cobalt is triangle, you just break the 3 on the top left and the 3 on the top right, with it as a triangle. You will not see these lines performing the shape. This is just a guideline so you can understand what exactly is going on. I think this is a much cleaner and easier way to understand what to break and how it works, and why the shape gets formed as it is. Witness DPS. So on witness DPS, the first attack will be random. You will be all inside the plate. You should always be kind of at middle. Imagine a mini circle in middle. There's actually a circle on the ground there, but yeah, everyone should be close to middle. And the first attack will either go left or right, bottom or top. So regardless, you can have someone calling and everyone dodges, or no one calls and everyone just dodge. But in any case, you will see the attack, like in this first example on the left, the attack is the orange fang glowing, so you would call bottom right, people would move to this side, and then there is no RNG. It's always a straight pattern. It's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You're just moving left and right, dodging. So in this case, you start bottom right, then top left, bottom right, top left and jump, because sometimes you move and also have to jump because the other attack is dealt at the same time. And you are just dodging left and right, back and forth on the same line, and sometimes jumping. Every 2 or 3 cycles there should be a jump. Sometimes there are 2 jumps back to back. On another example, it could be, for example, the attack starts here on top right. So people would say bottom left, top right, bottom left, top right, bottom left and jump, top right, bottom left, top right and jump. So if you imagine an X, but then split it in half, it will always be either or this line or this line. And whatever the first attack is, you go into the opposite side, and then it's just 1 2 1 2 1 2. You keep dodging. Sometimes you also jump according to the end movements, or if someone is doing callouts for your team. That's it. Just dodge and damage. Have fun. Also, the first time in the week you beat the witness, you gain this item called Memory of the Witness. You can keep some of them, more than one, I don't know how many, or you can spend them, doesn't matter. Regardless, when you do the excision activity, the 12-player fang where you kill the witness, if you have one or more memories, each time you beat the activity, one of these memories will get automatically consumed, and you will acquire a red border weapon from the raid by just doing the 12-man mission. And the item you see on the fang where you approach after beating the witness, that item is a memento, which is like a special skin just for the weapons, a special shader, and you should acquire it by either getting a flawless or a master run. About red border weapon and other shenanigans. Right in the beginning of the raid, there are these 8 columns. You want to look at the third, specifically the third, bottom to top. You get the callout, which in this case is circle, triangle, circle, square, square. And the 2 and 4 rooms are meant for raid mods and other shenanigans. Numbers 1, 3 and 5 are the ones you actually need to gain the extra red border loot at the end of the raid. So in this case 1, 3 and 5 are circle, circle, square. Again, counting bottom to top, 1, 3, 5. You find the secret rooms, close the conduit using the correct buff, and it's done. At the end you gain the extra red border. As far as loadouts go, encounters 2 and 5 are bosses, 1, 3 and 4 are at clear non-boss encounters.